Lebanon government has decided to task the army with setting a plan to disarm Hezbollah, a thorny issue decades after the last time the country had made factions give up their weapons. Here is a look at how the government's decision may be implemented and whether the Iran-backed militant group can still block it. The announcement made on 5th of August 2025 was the first time a Lebanese government has announced it would disarm Hezbollah, the only armed faction that kept its weapons in the aftermath of the 1975-1990 civil war. Hezbollah has kept its arms in the name of resistance against Israel, which occupied Lebanon's south until 2000. The decision effectively strips Hezbollah's weapons arsenal of political legitimacy, breaking with past government statements that recognized the resistance alongside the Lebanese army. The balance of power in Lebanon has shifted after a recent war between Israel and Hezbollah. The group has been left badly weakened after the fall of close ally Bashar al-Assad in neighboring Syria. Unprecedented Israeli strikes on Hezbollah backer Iran in June have further weakened its stance. Previous moves to limit or do away with Hezbollah's weapons and logistical network have led to major political and security crises. In May 2008, when the Lebanese government decided to shut down the group's wired communication network, clashes erupted with Hezbollah using its weapons against political opponents in Beirut and beyond. The violence killed at least 65 people. The group's arsenal has remained a divisive issue in Lebanon, with opponents demanding that the state control all territories and the government having the sole power to declare war and peace. Hezbollah on 6th of August 2025 rejected the government's decision, calling it a grave sin and saying that it will treat it as if it did not exist. But the armed group has few choices, which all appear to come at a great cost. Hezbollah could escalate politically by having the four ministers affiliated with it and its allies resign. It could also disrupt the work of parliament or incite chaos by mobilizing its armed supporters to the streets. Any domestic unrest blamed on Hezbollah would likely have major repercussions for the group's image among Lebanese. David Wood, a senior Lebanon analyst at the International Crisis Group, said, Hezbollah, as much as possible, would want to reduce the chance of itself entering a confrontation with the army because it knows that the entire country would be against it except for its supporters. He added that it would be an absolute disaster for its image. Hezbollah lawmaker Ali Amar dismissed the possibility of any confrontation with the army, saying that the two forces understand each other. Hezbollah could also relaunch attacks against Israel, but this option could easily prove devastating with the country still reeling from last year's war. Military analyst Riyad Khawaji said, going into war right now, again, will be very devastating to Hezbollah because it does not have a supply line. It lost a lot with the collapse of the Syrian regime. He added that its intelligence capabilities, its logistical capabilities have all been severely affected. The war with Israel saw much of Hezbollah's senior leadership killed and a large part of its military arsenal destroyed, as did swaths of Beirut, Lebanon's south and other areas. Receiving weapons shipments from Iran via Syria has become more difficult as Lebanese and Syrian authorities have tightened border controls and funding has come under stricter oversight. Hezbollah could agree to disarm, but a media outlet quoting Lebanese source said that it would not do so without something in return. Tehran's position may also affect any decision. According to Atlantic Council researcher Nicholas Blanford, the Lebanese group may play for time. He said, they can't fully disarm. I think that's impossible for Hezbollah. Lebanon is under intense Arab and Western pressure to disarm non-state actors, a key demand to secure international support as it emerges from years of political and economic crisis. President Joseph Aoun last week said that we must choose either collapse or stability. Should Hezbollah insist on keeping its arsenal, Beirut will find itself in a very difficult position. Researcher Blanford said if they can't do it politically, the government would not send the Lebanese army against Hezbollah. Blanford said, so it has to be a question of a compromise and some kind of an agreement, which is not going to be easy. Meanwhile, Israel has already signaled that it would not hesitate to launch destructive military operations if Lebanon fails to disarm Hezbollah, as stipulated in the ceasefire agreement that ended the latest war.